There is a way of dying that does not involve hospitals, disease, or old age. It is slow, socially accepted, even celebrated. It is death by comfort. Today I must begin directly. Comfort may be costing you your life, not your biological existence, but the vibrant, creative, expanded life you came here to experience. Before we continue, subscribe to this channel, not as a mechanical action, but as a symbolic commitment to your own expansion. When you subscribe and engage, you strengthen a collective field of awareness that allows this kind of knowledge to reach more people. This is not only about algorithms, it is about organized collective intention. Today's theme is not superficial self-help. It is a deep warning that echoes across millennia. A message symbolically present in the teachings attributed to Thoth in Hermetic tradition and in the recorded words of Jesus Christ. It is important to clarify. What we know about Thoth comes from esoteric traditions and interpretative texts, not from modern historical documentation. The teachings of Jesus are preserved in religious texts that blend historical narrative and theological construction. Throughout this content, I will distinguish what is historically or scientifically verifiable from what is symbolic interpretation. What is scientifically verifiable is this: the human brain prefers stability over growth. Neuroscience confirms that our nervous system is wired for survival, not expansion. It seeks the familiar, even if the familiar is limiting. Here lies the paradox. What protects us can also imprison us. How many times have you felt you were meant for more, yet remained where it was comfortable? How often have you mistaken peace for the absence of challenge? How many times have you labeled fear as prudence? Modern society has perfected comfort, constant entertainment, digital validation, predictable routines, endless distraction. Yet we see unprecedented levels of existential emptiness. That is not coincidence. Ancient spiritual traditions consistently warned that growth requires rupture. The Hermetic principle attributed to Thoth states that everything is in motion. What does not move deteriorates. While symbolic in origin, biology confirms a parallel truth. Living systems require stimulus to evolve. Similarly, Jesus is recorded as saying that whoever seeks to preserve their life will lose it. Theologically, this statement holds multiple meanings. Psychologically, it can be understood as a call to let the comfortable ego die. Comfort is not conscious rest. Permanent comfort is stagnation disguised as stability. Later, we will explore how this connects to quantum physics and multiple possibilities of reality. But first, understand this: your comfort zone is not neutral. It shapes your identity. Every time you avoid a challenge you know you must face, you reinforce a limited version of yourself. Every time you choose safety over expansion, you consolidate a predictable timeline. And here is the crucial point: not choosing change is still a choice. Perhaps you never realize that prolonged comfort reduces your sense of potential. It normalizes the minimum. It turns possibility into memory of what could have been. The question is not whether you are comfortable. The question is, how much of your greatness is being sacrificed to maintain that comfort? There is a difference between strategic rest and existential anesthesia. Rest renews, anesthesia paralyzes. Today, we cross that boundary. We will explore how the brain builds this invisible prison. We will examine how ancient traditions symbolically warned against attachment to safety. And most importantly, we will discuss how to break this cycle consciously and sustainably. But for that, you must be willing to look honestly. If at any point you feel discomfort while listening, observe it. Discomfort is a portal. Truth often begins as tension before it becomes liberation. There is a version of you that already made different choices, a version that did not wait to feel ready, a version that did not trade purpose for emotional stability. That version is not mystical fantasy. It is unactivated potential. And throughout this content, you will understand how to access that potential in a practical, responsible, and grounded way. Take a deep breath. Because what you call safety may simply be sophisticated fear. And your real life may be waiting on the other side of a decision you have postponed for years. When we examine the teachings attributed to Thoth within the Hermetic tradition, we find a central principle. Everything vibrates, everything moves, everything transforms. Historically, there is no scientific proof that Thoth literally authored the Hermetic texts as they are presented today. Many are later compilations and modern esoteric interpretations. Yet symbolically, Thoth represents something powerful, the awakened mind that understands subtle laws of reality. The Hermetic principle of rhythm and motion parallels modern biology. Cells that do not renew degenerate, muscles that are not stimulated atrophy, neural connections that are not used weaken. This is not spiritual metaphor. It is proven neuroplasticity. The brain eliminates circuits that are not activated and strengthens what is repeated. Now observe what happens when you remain in prolonged comfort. Your routine becomes predictable. Your challenges decrease. Emotional stimuli stay within a narrow intensity range. The brain interprets this as optimal stability. It reduces energy expenditure and consolidates existing patterns. But consolidation is not expansion. Neuroscience speaks of neural efficiency. The more you repeat a pattern, the less energy the brain needs to execute it. This is beneficial for learning skills. It becomes dangerous when applied to limiting behaviors. You can become highly efficient at staying small. Notice the subtlety. You may not be failing. You may be functioning perfectly within a reduced field of possibilities. Here, the Hermetic symbolism becomes relevant again. If everything is in motion, consciousness must also move. When you avoid difficult conversations, postpone bold decisions, delay projects that require exposure, you interrupt that movement. Energetically, speaking symbolically, your frequency stabilizes at a level that does not demand expansion. Psychologically, something deeper occurs. Fixed identity. You begin defining yourself by what feels safe. I'm just like this. I'm not the kind of person who does that. I prefer stability. These statements seem harmless, but they are identity declarations. And identity shapes perception. Your brain filters information according to who you believe you are. If you internalize the narrative that you are someone who does not take risks, your reticular activating system, the neurological mechanism that filters relevant stimuli, begins ignoring opportunities that challenge that image. It is not the universe limiting you, it is your filter. Later, we will explore how this connects to multiple realities and conscious choice. But first, understand something delicate. Comfort creates an illusion of harmony. You do not feel intense pain. You do not feel imminent threat. But you also do not feel expansion. There is another crucial detail rarely discussed. The brain associates novelty with risk. When you decide to change, start something unfamiliar, or break a pattern, the amygdala, responsible for threat detection, may activate. This produces real physical discomfort, increased heart rate, muscle tension, racing thoughts. Many people interpret this physiological response as a sign they are doing something wrong. Most of the time, they are not. They are simply leaving familiar territory. We must be honest. Not all discomfort equals growth. Some impulsive decisions are escape, not expansion. That is why discernment is essential. Conscious growth is not self-destruction. It is strategic exposure. But permanent stability is not neutrality. It is slow regression. When spiritual traditions speak about dying to oneself, as we will examine later in relation to the teachings attributed to Jesus Christ, They often point to dissolving rigid identities. You do not need to destroy your life. You need to question the structures keeping it small. Ask yourself honestly, how long has it been since you did something that truly challenged you? How long since you felt that internal tension that precedes transformative decisions? If the answer is too long, comfort may already be a sophisticated prison. There is a difference between peace and anesthesia. Peace expands perception. Anesthesia reduces sensitivity. And when sensitivity decreases, so does the sense of purpose. That is why many people, even with financial stability and material security, report emptiness. It is not lack of possessions. It is lack of expansion. Human growth requires friction. Just as muscles strengthen under resistance, consciousness expands under creative tension. Repeat internally, I do not confuse comfort with fulfillment. Observe what that awakens in you. When we analyze the words attributed to Jesus Christ through a careful psychological and historical lens, we find statements that seem radical to the modern mind. Whoever wants to save their life will lose it. Historically, this phrase appears in the canonical Gospels and carries multiple theological interpretations. Some scholars understand it in the context of spiritual surrender during persecution. Others see it as a metaphor for detachment. Here, we approach it as a contemporary psychological interpretation, clearly acknowledging it as symbolic application to human development. To save your life psychologically may mean preserving your comfortable identity, protecting the image you built, avoiding situations that challenge your self-concept, maintaining emotional stability at all costs. But preservation is not evolution. The ego, not as something negative, but as the structure of identity, seeks coherence and predictability. It wants to continue being who it has always been. It resists rupture. It prefers validation over transformation. When someone decides to start a bold project, change careers, leave a relationship that no longer resonates, or take an authentic stand, something internal reacts. Not because the decision is wrong, but because it threatens the existing structure, and that is where many retreat. The narrow gate mentioned in biblical texts can also be interpreted symbolically. The narrow path is uncomfortable. It requires focus. It demands renunciation of excess. It demands awareness. The wide path is easy. It is collective repetition. It is going with the flow without questioning. Psychologically, choosing the narrow path means choosing responsibility over impulse, growth over approval. Neuroscience shows that identity is sustained by neural networks strengthened through repetition. Each time you act according to your old self, you reinforce that network. Each time you act differently, you create temporary neural tension. That tension feels like discomfort. Thus, dying to oneself can be understood as weakening old identity circuits and allowing new connections to form. This is not mysticism, it is neuroplasticity. This is not only about the brain, it is about perception of reality. Quantum physics, in its rigorous scientific form, describes subatomic phenomena where particles behave probabilistically. The wave function represents a range of possibilities until measurement occurs. It is important to clarify. Directly applying this model to human behavior is metaphorical, not literal scientific equivalence. However, as a metaphor, it helps illustrate something profound. Until you decide, multiple versions of your life remain potential. Decision collapses possibility. What determines your decisions? Identity. If your identity is structured around comfort, you collapse the safest possibility. If your identity is structured around expansion, you collapse the one requiring growth. This is responsibility. It is not the universe choosing for you. It is repeated identity patterns over time. That is why prolonged comfort is dangerous. It solidifies who you believe you are, and who you believe you are defines what you allow yourself to experience. Here is an uncomfortable question. What if your current stability is costing your deepest evolution? This is not about impulsively abandoning everything. It is about recognizing where you have chosen predictability over purpose. Many spiritually aware adults live with silent tension. They sense something greater, yet remain in the safety of what they already master. Ignored long enough, that tension becomes apathy. Apathy does not arise from lack of ability. It arises from lack of challenge. Growth does not require chaos. It requires conscious progressive expansion. Small daily ruptures reprogram the nervous system. Honest conversations, starting projects before feeling fully ready, gradual exposure to the unknown. If this content expands your perception, consider becoming a member of the channel. Membership support sustains the creation of deep, responsible content without sensational distortion. Supporting this space strengthens a conscious community seeking integration between science and spirituality. Expansion without grounding becomes fantasy. Science without meaning becomes cold. We are here to integrate. When you take a growth-aligned, uncomfortable decision, there is initial instability, but soon after comes vitality. Vitality signals expansion. Constant comfort reduces vitality. It reduces emotional range, reduces risk, reduces intensity of purpose. And purpose fuels consciousness. At some point, everyone faces this silent crossroads: remain predictable or become larger than your current version. Most choose predictability, not because they lack capacity, but because comfort is seductive. It whispers, "Stay, you're safe." Safe for what? To repeat. Repetition may guarantee stability, but rarely meaning. Meaning is born from transcendence. Perhaps you do not need to change everything. Perhaps you need to change your relationship with discomfort. Instead of interpreting it as threat, recognize it as an indicator of potential growth. Look at your life with radical honesty. Where are you preserving an outdated identity? Where are you avoiding decisions you know must be made? This reflection is not accusation. It is invitation. Because the life you desire requires more than desire. It requires pattern rupture. And rupture never happens inside the comfort zone. There is another delicate point we must address. Modern comfort is not accidental. It is engineered. Digital platforms, consumption routines, rapid stimuli, and instant rewards are designed to keep your attention cycling through predictable patterns of mild pleasure. This is not conspiracy theory. It is business models based on behavioral neuroscience. The brain's dopaminergic system responds strongly to variable rewards and novelty. Each notification, update, or social validation releases small doses of dopamine. Dopamine itself is not the problem. It is essential for motivation and learning. The issue is constant fragmentation of attention and the replacement of meaningful challenges with easy rewards. When you become accustomed to quick gratification, deep tasks begin to feel excessively difficult. Projects requiring sustained focus trigger discomfort. Difficult conversations feel exhausting. Structural life changes seem threatening. The brain begins preferring frequent micro-pleasures over challenging long-term achievements. Research shows that constant exposure to easy rewards can reduce reward sensitivity over time. You need more stimulation to feel the same satisfaction. Meanwhile, effort-based activities feel less appealing. Digital comfort reshapes your tolerance for discomfort. This explains why many people feel inner potential yet struggle to act. It is not lack of ability. It is neural reconditioning. Spiritually, constant external stimulation weakens internal perception. Silence becomes uncomfortable. Deep reflection feels boring. Intuition gets drowned by noise. Continuous comfort does not only limit action, it reduces sensitivity. And when sensitivity decreases, so does perception of purpose. Many confuse this state with maturity or stability. But stability without expansion is maintenance. There is a type of fatigue that does not come from overwork, but from lack of meaning. It arises when you know you could be advancing, yet remain in repetition. That repetition creates a predictable timeline. In quantum physics, subatomic systems are described probabilistically until interaction occurs. Applying this directly to human life is metaphorical. not literal science. Yet, as a philosophical model, it is powerful. Imagine your life as a set of potentials. Each decision reinforces a trajectory. When you repeatedly choose comfort, you reinforce the same path. The probability of change decreases, not because of mystical fate, but behavioral inertia. Psychological inertia is real. The longer you remain in a pattern, the harder it feels to leave. Hard does not mean impossible. The first rupture is rarely dramatic. It is small, almost invisible, saying something you postponed, starting imperfectly, reducing one distraction. Admitting your current stability is not enough. And understand this deeply. Affirmations you write, in comments or in your journal, are more than words. They become cognitive anchors. Writing and repeating consciously activates neural reconsolidation mechanisms. Psychological research shows that structured self-reflection can alter perception and behavior over time. Language shapes experience. Repetition shapes circuitry. You become what you repeatedly tell yourself. If you repeat that you need safety before acting, you will keep waiting. If you repeat that you grow through discomfort, you begin acting accordingly. Identity precedes consistent action. So ask yourself, what identity have you been reinforcing daily? Comfort removes immediate tension, but creative tension fuels expansion. Perhaps the issue was never lack of opportunity. Perhaps it was excess convenience. If so, the solution is not waiting for motivation. It is building purpose-driven discipline. Purpose does not emerge from comfort. It emerges from inner confrontation. Observe your routines, your patterns, what you avoid. Awareness begins where honesty enters, and honesty often hurts. But that pain creates space for the expanded version of who you can become. Now we must integrate something even deeper. Conscious discomfort is not merely a psychological strategy. It changes your perception of reality. When you voluntarily face something you have avoided for years, your nervous system adjusts. Initially, there is activation, increased heart rate, tension, alertness. But if you remain present without immediate escape, the brain begins learning that this is not real danger, only novelty. In psychology, this is known as gradual desensitization, commonly used in therapy for anxiety and phobias. What does this mean practically? Courage is not absence of fear. It is retraining your response to fear. Every time you choose expansion over comfort, you send a signal to your nervous system. I am larger than this reaction. With repetition, this becomes the new pattern. And then identity shifts. You stop being someone who avoids discomfort and become someone who uses it as a tool. This shift is subtle but radically changes the field of possibilities you perceive. Perception is not neutral. It is shaped by your history of decisions. Years of safe choices filter the world through excessive caution. Repeated growth-oriented decisions expand your perception. This is not magical thinking. It is cognitive conditioning. At a deeper level, it is about existential meaning. Human beings do not merely survive. They seek meaning. Viktor Frankl's psychological observations demonstrated that the search for meaning is central to human life. When meaning exists, suffering becomes bearable. When meaning is absent, even comfort feels empty. Comfort without meaning produces apathy. Challenge with meaning produces vitality. Notice the distinction. Many people live in stable environments with predictable income and routine, yet feel emotional exhaustion, not necessarily from overwork, but from lack of expansion. The brain responds positively to progress. Studies show that a sense of advancement activates motivational and well-being circuits. Consistent small progress is more fulfilling than random gratification. Perhaps you are seeking peace when what you truly need is progress. Progress does not mean comparison. It does not mean proving worth. It means surpassing your previous self. Your identity today cannot be the ceiling of who you become tomorrow. Imagine your identity as a house, comfortable, organized, familiar. You know every corner. Outside is vast, unexplored territory. Staying inside is safe. Stepping out requires exposure. But remaining inside forever limits your experience. The problem is not having a house. It is never leaving it. At some point in spiritual maturity, you realize stability is foundation, not destination. Often, comfort is tied to social approval. Remaining predictable keeps you acceptable to certain circles. Growth can unsettle others. When you expand, relationships recalibrate, conversations shift, dynamics change. One of the most silent reasons people avoid growth is fear of losing belonging. But belonging built on limitation has a high cost. You must decide between comfortable acceptance and expansive authenticity. This decision can begin quietly within you, perhaps by studying something new, restructuring your routine, starting the idea you postponed. Each small uncomfortable action tells your inner system, I am evolving. Sustained evolution changes destiny, not through mysticism, but through behavioral trajectory. Your current reality reflects accumulated, repeated decisions. A different reality requires repeated different decisions. Transformation is not intensity. It is aligned consistency. You do not need an external revolution. You need continuous internal realignment. Ask yourself honestly, what discomfort do I know I must face but keep postponing? Do not rationalize, just observe. There lies your expansion portal. Identity is not a final sentence. It is a dynamic construction. And what is constructed can be reconstructed with intention, discipline, and awareness. There is one final point that must be understood with absolute clarity. You are not fighting the world. You are negotiating with your own identity. Most people believe they need ideal circumstances to grow, perfect timing, perfect resources, full support. Yet human history shows that expansion rarely emerges from ideal conditions. It emerges from internal decision. Excessive comfort creates the illusion of infinite time. I'll do it later, when I'm more prepared, when the timing is right. This narrative feels safe because it postpones responsibility. Time is not neutral. It is accumulated choices. Each year you maintain limiting patterns, neural networks strengthen, habits solidify, and a specific identity consolidates. Change does not become impossible. It simply requires greater awareness to reverse. There is a psychological phenomenon called status quo bias. We prefer things to remain as they are, even when improvement is possible. The familiar feels less risky than the potential. This is not moral weakness. It is cognitive economy. Consciousness exists to transcend automatism. When you realize you are choosing comfort by habit, not wisdom, something shifts. You become the observer of the pattern rather than the prisoner of it, and the observer has choice. Many wait for crisis before moving. They change only when the discomfort of staying exceeds the discomfort of changing. Spiritual maturity means evolving before life forces you to. Growth happens in two ways, through pain or through awareness. Pain imposes, awareness anticipates. Spiritual awakening often refers to this shift, leaving autopilot and recognizing that each decision shapes your experiential field. This is not about controlling everything. It is about taking responsibility for what is within reach. Comfort is not the enemy. It is a tool. The problem arises when the tool becomes permanent residence. Rest is necessary. Recovery is healthy. Stability is important. But none were designed as the final destination of human consciousness. You are not here merely to maintain what you achieved. You are here to expand what is possible. This does not require constant chaos or reckless abandonment of security. It requires deliberate expansion. Choose challenges slightly above your current capacity. Commit to growth-demanding actions. Redefine internal identity standards. The real battle is subtle, silent, daily. Repeat or evolve. Prolonged comfort reduces sensitivity. Reduced sensitivity diminishes purpose. Reduced purpose diminishes vitality. Conscious discomfort activates growth. Growth generates meaning. Meaning fuels vitality. Vitality signals alignment with expansion. Compare the energy of days when you overcome fear with days of comfortable repetition. One carries tension and clarity, the other carries ease and stagnation. The question is not whether you can continue as you are. You probably can. The question is, does this path lead to your highest version? Do not wait for life to remove your comfort. Use it as foundation and move voluntarily. Choose one conscious discomfort in the coming days. Not dramatic, strategic. Signal to your mind that you are not settling. Small, consistent ruptures build profound transformation. If this message resonated with you, share it. Help expand this field of awareness, because each awakened person illuminates hundreds more. Leave your comment, your vibration, your testimony, not merely for engagement, but because your energy is part of this collective construction. And remember, the highest timeline is not a place in the future. It is a state of being, available here and now. May you walk in peace, clarity, and love. Until the next awakening.